Since the Republicans took office, the cost of living has reached its highest point in history. Today, the consumer can buy less food, less housing, less clothing, less medical care than he could in 1952 for the same money.
Obviously, the idea of keeping interest rates low, the idea of throwing cheap money into the economy has an impact on all commodities. But it also, as a currency, plays a role in the buying power and ultimately fuels inflation.
They're paying people on welfare today for doing nothing. They're laughing at our society. Because we're all hard-working people and we're getting laughed at for working every day. Why not have them go to work and clean up the dirty streets in our town?
Well, I agree. Richard Nixon goes around talking as though I'm some kind of a radical because I believe in guaranteed jobs for people that he's throwing out of work. He said he was going to cut the welfare rolls. He put 4 million people on welfare. That's not my idea of delivering on a campaign pledge. Now, I'm telling you, and I mean it, we're going to do whatever is necessary to provide a job for every able-bodied man and woman in this country who wants to work, and those who don't want to work shouldn't be paid anything in the way of public support.
McGovern, Democrat.
We've now got 12 million people on welfare chronically. First of all, we need to separate that 10% of welfare recipients who can work completely out of the welfare program. Put them under the Labor Department, Education Department, teach them how to work, give them a job training, match them with a job and offer it to them. If they don't take it, when it's offered to them, I wouldn't pay them any more benefits.
They're a new generation of Democrats, Bill Clinton and Al Gore, and they don't think the way the old Democratic Party did. They've called for an end to welfare as we know it, so welfare can be a second chance, not a way of life.
Virtually half of our country now is dependent on government in some way, shape, or form, either through food stamps or disability payments or Social Security payments or health care benefits. They get something from government. And it's very difficult for somebody to run against a sitting president who says all the time, and his aides and his followers say all the time, that guy is going to take all of this away from you.
The Republicans in their TV commercials are saying that the economy is healthy, employment is high, our place in the world is honored, our leadership is great.
And the same is true when it comes to our country. He describes America as an embarrassment. He said, and I quote, "We're becoming a third world country." Look around you, my friends. Go visit with the workers building rockets. That doesn't happen in third world countries.
I've always felt that if something told to me went against my own experience, there was something wrong, and there is. Because when I look around, this is what I see. 8 million people, every one of them out of work.
Fewer jobs being created as more Americans drop out of the workforce.
Every trip to the supermarket, a shock.
If you've been struggling to stay on budget, you've probably noticed prices at your grocery store have been rising in recent years. And according to a new report, the trend will continue in 2015, faster than the rate of inflation.
Cities collapsing.
With less than a year to go until America elects its next president, the country's been warned of a looming new economic crisis. Major cities across the United States are declaring themselves bankrupt.
Hospitals closing.
Now, and a fourth Georgia hospital is now closing its doors because of the government's new health care program.
Teachers fired.
On this special edition of Inside Education, we talk teacher shortage.
Suburbs scared.
Castro threatened to sue suburban landlords for discrimination if they refuse Section 8 tenants with criminal records.
Crime growing.
141 murders compared to 82 murders last year. There have been 677 shootings in the city this year compared to 359 in 2015.
Police departments cut.
The shortage of police officers in Detroit. It's making it harder to reverse a recent upswing in homicides.
Fire departments cut. Daycare centers shut. Welfare skyrocketing.
Welfare spending expected to skyrocket 80% over the next decade.
Energy in foreign hands.
Under my plan of a cap and trade system, electricity rates would necessarily skyrocket.
That's our reality. It won't disappear because the Republicans say it's not there.
Despite all the political, to and fro about them, we are in a much stronger economic position than we were.
Hey, pal, how about a couple $100 billion? I'll pay you right back.
This is what the Republicans call managing the economy.
Hey, pal, $500 billion, just to kind of get me over the hump.
They should call it mortgaging our children's future.
What's another trillion between friends?
They've tripled our national debt.
Hey, pal, just a few more years. That's all I need.
Sorry, pal.
As we draw to a close of the Obama administration, it's important to see where the national debt began when he first took office. Let's take a look at this debt chart here. Take a look at the U.S. debt chart starting with September 2007, running on a fiscal year, of course. Obama took office with a $9 trillion debt approximately. Today, we're looking at more than double that, hovering at over $19 trillion.
Reckless, amateurish. That's what news media and fellow Republicans called Mitt Romney's gaffe-filled July tour of England, Israel, and Poland, when our U.S. diplomats were attacked in Libya.
With all due respect, the fact is we had 4 dead Americans. Was it because of a protest, or was it because of guys out for a walk one night who decided they'd go kill some Americans? What difference at this point does it make?
What we must do as a society to meet our needs in this country and protect our security and help the cause of freedom. As I said at the beginning, the question before us all, that faces all Republicans and all Democrats, is, can freedom in the next generation conquer?
The United States, which Cato ranked as the 17th most free country in 2008, found its ranking dropped 3 spots to the 20th most free country in the world now.
The Republicans held a convention. Remember him? He was there. Governor Rockefeller. Before the convention, he said Barry Goldwater's positions can, and I quote, spell disaster for the party and for the country.
You have to ask yourself, do I want a person of that temperament control the nuclear codes? And as of now, I'd have to say no.
Or him, Governor Scranton. The day before the convention, he called Goldwaterism a, quote, crazy quilt collection of absurd and dangerous positions.
If he governed consistent with some of the things he said as a candidate, I would be very frightened.
Or this man, Governor Romney. In June, he said Goldwater's nomination would lead to the, quote, suicidal destruction of the Republican Party.
And this is a different moment in time. But I believe with all my heart and soul that we face another time for choosing. One that'll have profound consequences for the Republican Party and, more importantly, for our country.